Now our project is starting to take shape. We have our levels, our grids. We've set our external walls, internal walls, and some additional architectural columns. Next, we're going to create a floor at the ground floor level. So to get started, again, we're in the Architecture tab, the Build panel. Here we have our floor tool. If I hit the drop down arrow, you'll see a couple of different types what we can use. Our architectural, which is what we're going to use today. Structural is not something we cover in this course, and the other two as well. So we'll simply just click on the icon itself, and it will bring us into the Create Floor boundary. You'll see again the contextual tab changes. First, you'll notice in the first panel there, it's our mode panel. We have a red X and a green tick. So this will appear with certain components, like when we place any floors, any roofs, and so on. Basically, what this means is when we are finished, we have to either select the red X to cancel what we've done, or the green tick to continue and to finish, that we're happy with what we've drawn. You cannot move forward unless you select either one of those two, so that's very important to remember. Next, we have the boundary line, and again there's our draw panel, which we're familiar with by now. Again, drawing by line, rectangle, circle, and so on. Again, we have the pick lines, and we now also have this new tool, which is called a pick walls. It's best practice to use the pick walls tool, because by using this tool, all we have to do is select each one of the walls to create our floor boundary. And what it will do is it will look for the boundary of the wall itself. So the floor will cut through the blockwork and so on and go to the external face. This will become more apparent when we draw our floor, and I'll cut a section through to see that happen. There in the options bar, we can create an offset, and the extend into wall into the core, we'll have that ticked on. Again, what that is, when we create the floor, it will extend in through the wall and attach to the core itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to change over our floor type. If we hit the type selector, by default we'll have 4 different types: 2 ground floors and 2 upper. So if we go for the first one, the ground bearing slab, having the pick walls tool active, and then we'll simply just click on the walls and escape once to finish. So what we've drawn is our boundary line, represented by that pink line. So the boundary line must contain a closed loop representing the outside perimeter of the floor. It can also contain other closed loops which define openings in the floor. It is very important to remember though that we must have one single closed loop, so we can't have any additional lines or anything like that. I will show you that in a few moments. So as you see here, we have a single closed line running around, and then these 3 lines here are in fact additional lines. So if I press green tick to finish, I'll get a warning symbol here telling me that I cannot complete it because the lines cannot intersect each other. The highlighted lines are currently intersected. So whatever we'll do is we'll highlight the problem lines as orange, so you can just zoom in straight away to see where the problem is. So to fix the problem, we'll just press continue, and what we need to do is cut out this intersection, and I will use the split element tool for that. So select split element in the modify panel, and to save myself time, I'm going to click on delete inner segment, and then when I hover over where I want to cut, you'll see how the cursor will kind of jump and attach to it. Once I can see that happen, I'll just click once to start. Click again, it has created the opening. And escape once to finish. Now we have one single closed loop, which when I press green tick, the software is happy with that. And we can continue on. Escape again to finish. So if I then further wanted to edit my floor, as you can see when I hover over, I cannot select it. The reason being is down here in the selection modes, my select element by face is turned off. So if I turn that on, now I can select the face of the floor. Once it's selected, in my property section, I can change the type. I can change the constraint if I want. But I also have the option here of editing the boundary. So if I click on that, I'm back into the editor. And if I zoom in, we can see the pink line running around the outside of the blockwork, which is the core face exterior. So if I wanted to change the location of that line, I can simply select it once. And only with the pick walls tool will I be given this flip arrows here. So if I click on the flipping arrow, it will jump to the inner face of the core boundary, and I can hit the arrows again to flip it back out. We can also adjust its position using the temporary dimension there. So if I give that 100, I can pull it up to the inner face of the brickwork. So to bring it back, I can just click and drag back to the exterior face and green tick to finish. So what I'm going to do is turn off select elements by face. The reason being I can accidentally click on the floor slab, which can get in the way. So if I turn that off,